Okay, so, well, today I'm gonna teach you how to write a research paper. And we touched on this topic before, but I made this presentation just to go over that whole research paper process. So I hope it helps you kind of refresh your ideas. And maybe when you revise your papers, maybe I hope this will help you. Okay? So, writing a research paper. Have you experienced this? Writing a paper can be very, very stressful. Yeah, have you experienced this?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you feel like this? Yeah? No? Okay, from 0 to 10, like what kind of stress level do you feel when you write a research paper? 6? Okay, it's quite high. No? Okay, it's stressful. Alright. And when you feel stressed, you'd rather do this, right? Like you have a paper to write, like, hey, maybe there's something important on my phone, maybe some important messages on the phone. You start checking, maybe. And do you know how we call this process of delaying your research paper? We call it procrastination. Have you heard of that word? Procrastination.
No.
Procrastinate means, so you have something important, but you kind of keep pushing that until you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have much time left. I have to do this. So keep pushing this back and back and back. That's procrastination. Okay? I don't recommend you do this. Okay? But I believe knowing how to write a paper, just knowing just how to write it, can be very helpful. Okay, so this is how this is what I think when I have to write a paper, especially a very typical 5-paragraph paper. Okay, so what is this? What is this?
Hamburger.
It's a hamburger, right? So we use a hamburger as a model for writing a 5-paragraph paper. It can be used for any kind of paper, but of course you can use this for a research paper as well. Okay, so the top you have an introduction, okay, and you have the 3 ingredients. So those are the body paragraphs. Then you have your conclusion, okay, and we're gonna look a little bit more closely at each section of the research paper. So usually the paragraph 1 is your introduction, and I want you to think your introduction as upside down pyramid. Okay, so when you start writing your paper, you start very general. What does general mean? What does that mean? What is this? What is this? Okay, it's big. Like what? Big sentence? No? What does general mean?
Many people don't know.
Okay, alright. So a lot of people know about it. Okay, that can be like a general knowledge, general understanding. Okay, yeah, that's very good. What do you think? General. Okay. You can form your ideas, opinions
Many people know.
Okay, yeah. So general means like that's very wide, and as you say, like it's for a lot of people, like in general. So you can start your paper and your introduction very general. Then you try to kind of narrow down your topic or focus. Okay, so that's the upside down pyramid. Okay, so you start very general, very wide, and try to kind of focus on what you really want to say in your paper. Okay, the end of your introduction is what we call thesis statement. Have you heard of thesis statement?
Yes.
Okay, very good. What is it?
My opinion.
Okay, your opinion. What is a thesis statement? Mm.
Deep thought.
Okay, alright, this can be your very deep and profound thought. Okay, very good. So paragraph 1 has a thesis statement. It's at the very end. Okay, so thesis statement tells the readers what this paper will do. Okay, or what this paper is about. Okay, so when you're reading a paper and you read the thesis statement, you have a very good idea of what this paper is about, what you can expect. Okay? So, the Harvard College Writing Center had this very good list of what a thesis statement is and isn't. Okay, so it says so thesis statement is never a question. Okay, sometimes I see students writing a question in thesis statement, but this is your paper. Okay, you don't ask the readers, what do you think? No. This is for them to read what you think. So it's never a question. Okay, it's also never a list of things like, all right, Japan has 4 main islands. Honshu, Kyushu, no, not like that, not like lists. The third part, never be vague, combative, or confrontational. That means it's just, like, do you understand combating, confrontational?
No.
It's like, almost like fighting. Okay? It's just morally not correct. For example, if you say, Japan is bad because it has a really bad prime minister, or something like that. It's just, and it's not even an argument, it's just, well, maybe if you have good argument and good like evidence to kind of support your claim, then that may be okay, but just, if you just want to talk bad about something or somebody, research paper is not a place. Okay, and also a good thesis statement has an arguable claim. So you said your deep, profound thoughts. It can be a good arguable claim. So you claim this to be true or something like that, and you support with evidence. Okay, it must be clear and very specific. Okay, so for example, this research paper aims to present, so this tells what this paper will do, okay? So present and discuss 3 keys to be successful in school, and explain. So present, discuss, then explain how these keys can help students individually and in combinations. But when you read this, you know, you have a good idea of what you're going to be reading. You're going to be reading 3 things that can help students succeed in school, and how they kind of help students, like one by one or in combinations. Okay, so something like this can be a thesis statement. So when the readers read this, they have a good idea. Okay, so thesis statement, very important. When you have your introduction ready, you tell the readers what this paper is about. That's what you have to do in your paragraphs 2 to 3. Sorry, it should be 2 to 4. Okay, the body paragraphs. Okay, so the body paragraphs are for presenting, maybe discussing, examining, explaining, and maybe arguing your main ideas. You can of course use different sources to support, like research data, or maybe some good quotations to support your main ideas or your main arguments. Okay. You can of course use the same hamburger model to organize your paragraph. It can be used for the whole paper, but you use the exact same model for organizing paper. You introduce this paragraph is, so you first introduce what this paragraph is about, and you talk about it, and you finish with what this paragraph was about. Okay, and one thing I really want you to remember is when you write your body paragraphs, whatever you write, always connect your argument back to your thesis statement. Okay, always, because your thesis statement says this is what I will do. So you have to make sure your body paragraphs are doing what you say you will do. Okay? Alright, then when you have your body paragraphs, you're ready to write your conclusion. The conclusion is the opposite of the introduction, is the pyramid model. The beginning of your conclusion is actually your thesis statement, but you have to paraphrase it. Right? You remember the hamburger model? The top one has some sesame seeds. The bottom one, they are the same buns, but they look different. Right? So you cannot have the exact same thesis statement here. You have to kind of change words, maybe change some, grammars, or maybe like words, and so you are saying the same thing, but in a different way. Okay, so that kind of recaps what you did in that actual body paragraphs. Okay, then you go specific, back to general, and that's how you kind of organize your research paper. Having this model in your mind can really help you organize your papers. You have this template, okay, and you just have to have your own ideas and arguments, and you can just put that argument into this model, and you're ready to write a research paper. Just for an example, a very short version, okay? So I can maybe start a paper by saying like, people enjoy having pets. Very general. Very general. And dogs are the most popular pets because they are smart, loyal, and useful. This can be my thesis statement. I'm gonna argue in this paper that dogs are the best because they're smart, loyal, and useful. Okay, so this can be my introduction. Of course, it has to be a bit, bigger, but just start it very general. Then, when you kind of narrow down your topic or when you're writing sentences to kind of, specify what you want to say, you kind of say the things that leads to your thesis statement.